Well, howdy do, J-Saki Club members. I hope you're all having a swell evening. You all help to keep the evenings from getting too lonely. So I was debating on what to watch this evening. I almost went with The Mummy. But then I thought, how about I watch The Invisible Man, 1933. It's only 70 minutes long, so I figured it would be a manageable watch. So this one was directed by a certain James Whale, who also directed Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, neither of which I've seen, but maybe someone else might want to know that. Apparently he also directed a sequel to All Is Quiet on the Western Front, so apparently that was a thing. So The Invisible Man was a pre-Hays Code movie. That means it was made when you could get away with things. I mean, technically the Hays Code had already begun, but it wasn't completely enforced yet, so some movies slipped through the cracks. Does that mean this movie has shocking taboo content? No, but apparently it was very dark for the time, and I see why. Okay, so the most shocking thing about it is it has an invisible nude man, where you can't see it, but you know it's there. So I knew nothing about this movie going into it. I mean, besides the Hays Code bit, but the story, I had no idea. All I knew is it was one of those things. Old monster classics. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, The Invisible Man. But what about The Invisible Man? All I know is he's invisible. That's it. Was he a hero? Was he a villain? I don't know. Never knew. I watched it. Now I know. I think if you know nothing about this film, it is best to just go into it completely blind. Just put it on, watch, and see where it goes. So first off, this movie was super entertaining. This was definitely a fun movie to watch. You're not going to be bored if you put this on. That being said, for as good as it was, the filming was actually really good. The lighting was good. You could tell that they really got into the project they were making. But it has the same problem that many contemporary thriller films have today, which is the plot is dim, and they need you to get from here to there, and they need to make things happen, so they make them happen. And when that happens, just bad writing, contriving circumstances, it does start to lose its timelessness. It does start to become just cheap entertainment for the old days. The same way superhero films are cheap entertainment for nowadays. I mean, that's not entirely fair. It's not cheap. You could tell they put a lot of thought into it. But yes, the plot holes, the contrived writing, to get from here to there, to set up scary scenarios, takes away from the film. Basically, the big problem the film struggles with is the Invisible Man. For whatever reason, he is sporadically insane. So the filmmakers use his sporadic insanity to make him do any number of horrible, terrible, awful things when the film wants to make him do terrible, horrible, awful things for the sake of excitement and thrills and chills. And this is a very dark movie. The Invisible Man goes around and does some crazy things. He inexplicably goes to a train station and switches the train rails for an oncoming train and derails the train and makes the train go off a cliff. Inexplicable terrorism. And it's kind of morbid and shocking to see happen. But why did it happen? No, they just wanted the Invisible Man to do something shocking and horrible. So in the end, much like Son of Dracula, it doesn't hold up in the long run, but if you want something that will keep you awake, hold your attention, and give you education, this is as good as it gets. Have a good night, everyone.